Hi, I'm Jim, and it's getting late tonight. This is Jim's Fix-It Shop, and as promised, I'm a week late. This video, I'm sorry, should have aired last week, at least last Saturday, if not Friday. But things got really busy, and well, here's the parts. Now, I basically tore apart two SR machines, and I've got all the parts here. They're all for sale. What they're worth, you're gonna come up with a price yourself and offer it. You know, I use partstree.com, so look up the parts on Partstree, find out what they're selling them for. If it's a $100 part, you're going to knock it down to 40 bucks. We're going to knock 60% off because these are used. And then depending on the condition, we're going to knock them down a lot. We want to get rid of this stuff and get it out of my way. I have a differential cover that is in great shape. There's nothing wrong with it. I didn't even look up what these things are worth. I have one here that has some damage, and I don't even know how it could occur. This gear and chain, by lining it up with the bolt hole, you can see it has plenty of clearance all the way around. So how that thing ate a hole in the side of this cover right here, the way it did, it just about went through, but there's no, I can't see any light, so there's no leaking. If you're a welder and you want to fix this up and you need a differential cover because yours is in worse shape than this one, I think I can get this into a $9 shipping bag, and if you really need this, you can have it. I am trying to help out some of my viewers that really need to get their machines fixed and they can't really afford it. If you're disabled, retired, fixed income, out of work, this stuff is for you. I've got a couple of guys down in Alabama, I believe, and they make their living mowing lawns with their snappers. So if you guys need parts, let me know. I have two oval steering wheels. One is in really good shape. The other machine sat outside for a long time. A lot of stuff is faded, and a lot of the parts were rusty, so I had to get rid of a few parts. This was two SR machines. That's the rectangular tubes. I have two gas tanks, and I didn't fill them up with anything to see if they leaked. They look good to me. Maybe I'll have to fill them up with some water and check them out. Now these parts are off the SR with the rectangular frame. I have two complete seat brackets and gas tank holders for the SRs. I have a couple of shift plates, I call them. But I noticed there's a difference between these. From one machine to the other. Same machine, same model. Don't ask me what they were thinking on that. But the slot for shifting it, if I can hold them together here, one slot is longer than the other when you go into reverse. So if you need a shift plate, one of these I believe was 5 5/8 and the other is 7. So if you need one of these, they're not in perfect shape. They do have some wear the teeth, or the detents as I call them. I have two rear bumpers. One is a straight style, one is a U-shaped style. And this one is starting to show like it could be cracking. If you have a capability of welding that, make me an offer. I have 3 sets of wheel hubs. Let me rephrase that. I have 2.5 sets of wheel hubs. The one that goes on the left hand side, I could not get off. I'm like some of you guys, you run into one once in a while and it will not come off. So what you do is you take your little Dremel tool or hand grinder or whatever you have, and you cut it into 2 pieces, and it comes right off. Well, actually, I still had to hit it with a hammer to get it to come off the axle. But I've got 2.5 sets of wheel hubs. The other one is the large size that goes on the differential. Nothing wrong with that. 2 sets of hubcaps, front and back. I've got a couple of these, as I call them, gray plastic boots. No rips, no tears that I can see. I stretched them out. If you're in need of a set of boots, pay the shipping and you can have these. I have 2 sets of the springs that go on the shift plates. What else we got? This was an oddball hanging system that went on the back of one of the mower decks. That's the first style I've ever seen of this thing. The cables are in great shape, and I've noticed on this one, or on both of them actually, you can't get the cable off to replace it. So if it breaks, you have to buy this whole bracket. I didn't even look up what they were selling for. I have a set of those. I have 2 sets of tie rods, and they're in pretty good shape. They show a little bit of wear, not bad, but yours is worse. Make me an offer. I have 2 sets of the handles that go on the choke, the brake. I think this is the handle you lift up when you're holding your brake pedal down, and it locks it in a park. And the other one was the throttle cable. These are the handles that go on. This is the little, I don't even know what they call it. One guy said he needed one of these for a dash for his SR. They're both a little damaged from the washer on the steering wheel. This one's wore a little bit worse right here along the side of the hole. $7 for shipping, and they're yours. I have 2 clutch disc assemblies that are in good shape. And what you want to look for when you buy one of these things is what the keyway looks like. Is it in good shape? Is it wallered out? A lot of people call it. That's the important part. Once that starts to go bad, it'll just keep chucking back and forth until it's totally destroyed. I have 2 sets of clutch brake pedals. I have 2 complete working chain cases, and along with the brake on it. If you were to buy one of these complete from Parts Tree, they're $575 the last time I checked. Make me an offer. I have 2 shift arms. Why anybody would need one of these, I have no idea. I don't know how you'd wear out or break one of them unless you wore out the end where it pivots in the frame. A couple reverse rods with the spring on the end. Make me an offer. A lot of this stuff will go into a padded bag, and that runs around $7 to ship. I have a steering shaft complete for the oval steering wheel. The holes in the bottom are okay. The second one, I could not get the steering wheel off. I mean, no matter what I tried. So what I did, I think it was this one. I snapped the little nameplate back in. Figures. Well, it don't want to come out of there. Turn that so you can see what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to get this little nameplate out of the center of the steering wheel. Now, what I ended up doing, I had to cut this off right next to the bottom of the wheel. And you can see it's got the cut mark on it. You'll have to re-drill the hole to pin back on the steering wheel back on. And once I got it cut off, I threw this in a mill and I milled off the top of this where the plastic stuck up. Then I put it in a press and I pressed that part out. The only way I could get it out of there. If you need a steering, this steering shaft, the one I cut off, I would just wire brush all the paint off so you can get the wheel back on, re-drill it and pin it, pay the shipping, and you can have this. And the holes in the bottom also are in good shape. I have two complete differentials. Now this one, you can see that the teeth are starting to wear. There were, for some reason, more on this half of the gear than they are on this half. Why it did that, it's probably something got way out of alignment, and that's why the differential cover was ate up so bad. But this one, the 63 tooth gear, is in really good shape. Now these axles are not wore too bad. If you're going to put this on a machine with bearings, the axles will be fine for that. If you're going to put it in a machine and run bushings on it, I'm not sure what to tell you on that. Oh, I've got two of these gears and sprockets. Oh man, what do we got here? I got a couple of pins to hold the mower deck on the front of the machine. Why you would ever break one of them, pay the shipping, you can have this. I've got two good throttle cables for the SR. Nothing wrong with these. I have a complete wiring harness for the SR, including the switch that snaps into the shift plate to tell the brain that it's in neutral or park. It's got the end for the battery. It's got the original solenoid in it, and the fuse. Pretty much it's the whole wiring harness. And it also has the little, I call it the brain, it's the interlock. And this one is in really good shape. There's no rust on it, no cracking in the, it's some kind of tar they pour in there to seal it. I would say that one is probably in working condition, but I won't swear to it. Make me an offer. Here is a good clutch / brake cable for the SR, including this goofy spring they put on there for some reason. The plastic is not broken at the end of the cable. Make me an offer. Here's an ignition switch for the SR. Should have two of these. I have to look, see where the other one is. And the cable to plug into the ignition switch and wire it into the machine. A spring for the yoke. And speaking of that, somewhere around here, is the complete yoke assembly, along with the slide link, I think they call that, and the bracket that goes on the bottom. Now, if you notice, this bracket is a little wiggly. That's because I believe these bushings are worn out. So you would want to replace them bushings before you try to use this. Otherwise, the yoke is okay. If you already got a bracket on your machine, you're going to throw that away anyway. It does have two little dimples in it where probably 4th and 5th was. I cleaned that up. I'm going to try to weld them and level it back off so that's flat again. Got two large links for the shift shifter. I can't find the other part. It hooks on the back of the shift plate and goes down to the shift arm, and then these go from the shift arm to the chain case. I have two of these too. For you guys that want all the original parts to fix up your machine, I have 5 original clamps for the boots. And this larger one, I don't even know what this came off of, or where it came off of. It's way too large for a boot. But let me know, the steering wheels will come with, I lost that little plastic washer. They'll come with the foam shaft cover and the little plastic cover that goes on the bottom. It goes this way, I believe, and this covers up the washer and the cotter key on the bottom. I've got a couple of these spreader bars, factory ones, the little skinny things. Got 2 of them. One's bent, you'll have to straighten it. Or you can replace them with ones I make. Just a little plug there. What else we got laying here? We've got 2 trailer hitches. Not much of a hitch, but that's what Snapper puts on them. I have 2 hexagon shafts that look to be in pretty good shape. This is all used stuff, so it's not new. And I even have a belt for a 28-inch that's in remarkable good shape. The other one was, it had a spot, it looked like it sat there and ran, and he never used the mower deck. It just sat there and it rubbed against the bottom of the engine on the pulley, and it just really wore a thin spot. It was almost ready to break. So I only have one of them. I have two sets of pilot bushings that go on the front, between the front and the rear case. A couple of brackets, and why you would need these either, I'm telling you, it's one of them is a nice solid thick, and this one is a piece of sheet metal that they stamped out. But this is a bracket that goes between the two fenders, and your shift arm goes in here and then into the top of the rear case. Now, onto this table. This is the gas tanks for the SRs. Now over here, we have the older machines. I have a spindle with brand new bearings in it. I have to make two washers that go in, one in the bottom, one in the top, because apparently I lost those. But that's a good spindle. I apparently have another differential cover. Now this is not off an SR, this is off the standard round tube machines, but these diff covers are all the same. I have two pulleys that go on the top of the spindles. I have two more clutch disc assemblies, and again, they're in really good shape. This one has been drilled and countersunk, so your brake will work in here, and you can bolt your clutch disc solid, as this one is. This one is not countersunk, so if you don't have a machine with the two different brakes, one was a band brake, one was that little shoe brake, you can take the shoe brake out and this one will work. And this one is not gonna slip. If you're having trouble with it slipping, I work with my viewers and really try to get these things working with that clutch the way it's supposed to be. But sometimes you just can't. So we bolt them solid. I have a friend down south that rebuilds machines and sells them, and he orders the original clutch disc assembly that the only way you can put them on is you bolt them on, and you don't ever have a problem with them slipping. This is another 63 tooth gear. Now don't get too excited. I know you're seeing 8 holes. This came out of a machine mine that I rebuilt, and apparently they didn't have any 4-hole gears. So they grabbed an 8-hole gear and they drilled one of the holes out so you couldn't put a bolt in there and put 8 gears on it. So I think I'm going to keep this. I'm going to try to set up a CNC mill at the shop and buy 4-hole gears and drill them for 8. Some of you guys really want an 8-pinion differential, but in all honesty, if you're just using this thing for mowing, 4 pinions are going to be just fine on that thing. I have an old muffler. This is an old style. Make me an offer. I have a brand new muffler. These are $65 a piece, and this little exhaust pipe is $9.95 a piece. This is a brand new setup. It's never been on a machine. made me an offer. Here is another brand new muffler. A friend of mine, the lady down the road, her husband, we lost a couple years ago. He was a really good friend of mine. And she blew the engine on her Husky, I think she has. And before she got a hold of me, she had hired somebody to put an engine on it for like $699 is what she paid for the engine, and then have him put it on. Well, he left the muffler on it that came with it. So this has got about a half hour of use, but the drag link from the steering box over to the front tires hit the muffler, and it's got it all banged up. But as far as it being a good muffler, there's nothing wrong with that. Make me an offer on it. I have two of the bicycle style handlebars. One was bent, and I did a video on straightening it. This is the one I straightened. This one is nothing wrong with it. And I do have the clamps that go around this and clamps it to the steering shaft that comes up from your tie rods. Oh, we got two more bars that hold the mower deck to the bottom of the machine. I have a now this is wore pretty good down here, but if you're in need of one, you can't afford a new one, this is the only thing that's wrong with this one. It's seen some use. The top is okay, but that's the style that goes with these bicycle style handlebars. I have a couple of the old style muffler guards that protect your bags. I have two brake drums. These are for the band brakes on the chain case. No, these are the brake that goes on the top of the spindle for the deck brake. Sorry, that's what them are for. Too many pieces. Okay, we have the gear and sprocket that goes in the differential cover. That's basically nothing wrong with that. And the sprocket that goes in the top of the chain case with the little plastic thrust washers. And this looks in pretty good shape. Oh, what else we got? Two more two more brackets for the hitch. I have one throttle cable for the round tube. These are real short ones. They're mounted down behind you and they just go curve around to the engine. I have a set of clutch brake pedals and auxiliary brake pedal with the rubber pads with them. I have a 33-inch brake cable that's in good shape, and this is the one that has the spring built into it. And I also have a 33-inch clutch cable. And one bracket that locks the mower deck into gear when you step on the pedals. And some miscellaneous stuff that no one's ever going to need. This is a guard, and it goes on the mower deck to tell you what position your deck is in. Hey, you never know. The pack rat that I am, hung on to them things. Lord knows why. I've got a couple sets of tires. Now these are holding air. I have not done anything with them. How? I have no idea. They're pretty well cracked and weather checked. You can see in the tread. The rims are rusty, but they're in pretty good shape. Send me shipping, you can have the tires and rims. The back tires, I believe, are in the lean-to. And boy, I think we're getting to the end of this mess. I do have a Thatcher for the rider, and it's pretty much complete, except you never seem to get the brackets that hold these things up when you're not using them. So I make my own. I have a couple of them here that will go with the Thatchers when I sell them. Or if you need one of these brackets, I do make these and sell them. They're not the original style. This is the original bracket that goes with the Thatchers for a round tube machine. I keep these for a pattern. This is the original bracket that goes on the SR rectangular tube machines, and you can see they are completely different. This one is made to go around the tube, and it has a slot in it, and it's made so you can rotate it around the tube to adjust it so your handle hooks in here. Well, I tried doing that, bending that like that, and without a die, that's pretty hard to do. So what I do is I make them like this. They fit on the front of the machine. They have the slot so you can adjust them back and forth so your handle hooks in there the way you want it to. I do make these and sell them. They're $35 a piece. Some of this stuff is obsolete. You cannot buy them anymore. You have to make your own. And if you see anything you need, let me know. This stuff is all for sale. I'd really like to get it out of here. I had someone that wanted one of these. Now I have 2 mower decks, complete. One is in really good shape, and I'd kind of like to sell the whole deck complete. The other one sat outside and it's pretty rusty. I've already sold the pedals off the front that you step on to keep the deck engaged. I got to ship them tomorrow. This is the black cover that came off the top of it. It's not in real good shape. I had one viewer that was looking for one. It has a little groove here from the big pulley, and you can see where the center of it was. Apparently this thing, I don't know if they stepped on it or what, but it's bent in a little bit. It's cracked up here, up at the top. I want you to see what's wrong with all this stuff. If you're, oh, and it's cracked over here. Now, if you don't have one, and you got these spinning pulleys and belts under your feet, and you just don't feel comfortable, you need one of these. I don't know what they sell for. This one's pretty bad. If you need it, pay the shipping, you can have it. Now this is pretty big. I'm guessing it's probably gonna be around 25 bucks in shipping. I don't want you to get sticker shock when you find out what shipping is on a lot of this stuff. I use a lot of these bags. They're a little padded bag, and every time I go to the post office, it seems like this shipping is more on these bags. It started out to be like $7. Now it's $8.40. Once it was $8.75. I never really know what it's on. I usually say $9. That covers me. And this is the bag I'm going to ship this shift plate in. This one's in really good shape. It slides right in there. And as long as you can get this thing sealed, you can ship that for $9 anywhere in the US. And the same with a lot of these other parts. They will fit in one of them bags. The Thatcher, I've shipped out a few of them, and shipping on them runs around $28. But when you get it, it will be broken down. It will come in a box. I think it's 30 inches long or 36 inches long by 14 inches wide and 7 or 8 inches tall. I don't take all the springs off because that's just a pain. But I do take the arm off that holds the tire, and I take this arm or bracket off that hooks to the machine. I break it down as much as I can, but I don't completely tear it apart, so you need a engineering degree to put that stupid thing back together. I do have a copy of the original paperwork for the dethatchers. I always call them a Thatcher. And I send a copy of that along with the ones I sell. So you'll have some paperwork on it. That's about it, I'm thinking. I'm not used to talking this much. But that's what I have. If you need a part and you don't see it, I may have missed it, let me know. I'll let you know if I have it or not. Most of this stuff's going to sell pretty cheap. I just want to clear it out of here. The engine on the one that sat outside for so long is a nice engine. Yeah, well, let me rephrase that. Was a nice engine. It's the same one as this one. It's a 12 horse I/C quiet. It's an industrial commercial engine. It is locked up. I'm in the process of stripping it. I didn't get that done today. So I'll have a flywheel, a starter. I have to test the starter, make sure it works. I'll have a recoil cover, an oil tube, about everything you see on here, carburetor, and I never took one off a 12 horse. That's a good sized carburetor on that thing. And any internal parts that I can get off. The coil, it didn't seem to want to come loose from the aluminum head. I'll probably end up breaking the mounting screws, but I should at least get the coil off. The stator, I'm going to take the stator out of it. Them are like $95. That'll be for sale. Just anything I can strip off the engine will sell. This one runs. I want to rebuild it because I've only got like 30 pounds of compression. Or somebody is in really bad need of an engine and they want to rebuild it, make me an offer. I'll throw it on the bench and start it up and you can hear it run. The drive disc assembly on the other engine I'll be taking off. So if you're in need of one of them, let me know. Now, this was a 28-inch machine. If you're going to put it on a different size machine, you have to change the pulley on the drive disc assembly. You have the hub that slides on the engine, then the pulley goes on, and then the drive disc itself screws on. Well, I think the 28-inch and 42-inch has the same size pulleys. And then I believe the 30-inch and 33-inch has the same size pulley. One's a 5-inch and one's a, I'd have to look. I'm not even sure on that anymore. But that's it. I have 2 chain cases. I think I said that. So if you need a chain case, I'm going to sell them complete. I don't think I want to tear them all apart and sell pieces. I should have pieces for the chain case around here. I do have the top sprocket for the hexagon shaft, and I should have 2 of the bottom ones. If I tore them apart, I've got a couple chains. And to check a chain, a roller chain, to see how good it is, you want to lay, I show this in the video, you want to lay it on a flat surface, like a workbench. And I put 2 steel bars, one on each side, to keep this thing straight. And then what you want to do is push this together and pull it apart. And there should be very little movement between all these joints. That's how I check one to see how worn it is. But this one don't look bad. I won't guarantee it's not going to break down the road. I have no way of telling. This is just like buying a used car. These are mechanical machines, and anything could happen to them at any time. I have a blade here I've got cleaned up. I haven't painted it yet. It's one of these Ninja blades. This is a snapper braid. It's not an aftermarket. If you use that thing, I never will. Make me an offer. I believe I have a 33-inch blade that I won't be using. I have to check. I may have some more. This is right from Parts Tree. This is brand new. It's got sawdust on it because it sits over there on my joiner. This is a brand new 33-inch blade, and it's drilled for the air lifts. The machine I got out in the building is a 33-inch. This is gonna, I didn't plan on using it this year. I wanted to get my newer 28-inch out, but I just haven't had the time. So I'll probably use that again this fall for sucking leaves, and I'm not going to put this blade on and ruin it sucking up leaves. So if you need a 33-inch blade, there you go. This one, I'll have to check. This one is a 28-inch blade. Let me grab a tape measure. I don't know what these numbers on the back mean. Yep, 28. It's got a 26/45/3T. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a 26-inch blade or something. I don't think they have a 26-inch snapper. I know they have a 25-inch. But help me out, guys. Buy some parts. I'll probably be boxing all this stuff up so get it out of my way, and I'll stick it out in lean-to. So the sooner you get a hold of me, the faster I'll be able to refine these things. I'll probably just leave most of this stuff sitting here throughout the week. because I've got some other jobs I'm trying to finish up, a welding job. I'm trying to build myself a welding / plasma bench, and that's not going too well. I'm trying to find a place I can slot the top rails on the bench so I can slip the pieces of sheet metal in to use it for the plasma part. As soon as I figure that out, I'll have that done, and then I can deal with this mess. But hey, if you need anything, let me know. Please subscribe. I need your help on that issue. I can't do that myself. And until next time, work safe, have fun, and keep on snapping. We'll talk to you soon. So long.